A night of discomfort. Yo, what's going on? It's someone that's someone, and welcome back to today's report. Today's report was sent in by DPH entity. The drugs used: Datura and Dextromethorphan, at a dose of 400 seeds and 150 milligrams for the DXM. Route administration: orally. Gender: male. Weight: 120 pounds. Age: 24. Height: 5'5". Prior experience: he's an experienced psychonaut, and the setting: in his room in darkness. Alright, so here's another report coming from DPH entity, stepping into some new territory, as this is our first report on Datura and DXM together. Now, Datura itself is a poison, and taking that alone can cause enough complications. Adding DXM to the mix could cause further complications, especially with a dose at 400 seeds. For example, it can lead to overheating more easily, more nausea, just potentially more discomfort overall. That's most likely why you don't hear of this combination being considered. Datura is a beast in itself, and it shows pretty well in this experience. It was somewhat compulsive, and in result, DPH entity doesn't have a very comfortable ride. It shows how strong Datura can be, and it shows what this combination is like to some degree. I'm sure you'll enjoy it, so without further ado, let's dive right into this. I've tried seeds a few times, but for me, even 200 did barely anything. Don't ever do this amount for your first time. Everybody is different, and while 200 did nothing for me, it can kill somebody else, especially if it ends up being a very potent batch. Always start low and work your way up. Eventually, I came to the conclusion that 400 seeds would be my trip dose. And for some retarded reason, I decided to do it with 150 milligrams of DXM. I took every single seed and cut it in half with a knife because I thought that would make the drug digest better. The process took at least an hour, and eventually I mixed it in with some yogurt and ate it after downing the cough syrup. The first effect I noticed was my heart rate started being very fast all of a sudden, like worryingly fast. I actually said a prayer: God, if I took too much, please make me throw up. And I shit you not, about a minute after saying that, I actually vomited. I believe in God, by the way. Back to the story. I don't really remember at any point that I started tripping. Everything seemed completely normal. But I felt so terrible that I decided to just go to bed and abort the trip. Well, if only it was that easy. I could not fall asleep for shit. I had a horrible dry mouth and complete loss of motivation. I could not even be bothered to listen to music, even if my MP3 player was right next to me. Funnily enough, I was hearing music playing anyway. I was wondering why it was so quiet. Then I realized that there was no music playing. I was hallucinating it in my head. I think I was hearing music I was listening to earlier in the day. Then I remember having conversations with people, but whenever I tried asking them something, they wouldn't reply. And then I realized there was nobody there. Instead of finding this trippy or amusing, it actually pissed me off for some reason. I thought I was stupid for talking to myself. Another extremely uncomfortable side effect I had was that I felt like I needed to piss all the time, and as soon as I relieved my bladder, I felt like I needed to piss again. This was by far the least enjoyable part of the trip. By the way, I still didn't think I was tripping. Datura is different to DPH because on DPH, you actually get trippy visuals as well as occasional hallucinations. With Datura, there was nothing trippy about it. Just full-blown true hallucinations that you have no idea if they're there or not. There was one hallucination that was obviously fake. It was a massive wasp that appeared near my face. It was about the size of my head. However, I didn't find it scary at all, and actually just said to it, "Who are you trying to scare?" And it vanished. I'm not sure if there were any other hallucinations. I wasn't looking for them, as I was lying in a dark room, not giving a fuck about seeing shit. I just wanted to go back to being sober and feeling comfort again. There was no comfort whatsoever. The dry mouth and constantly feeling the need to urinate completely overrides any cool hallucinations that you may or may not encounter. Overall, I was lucky that the trip only lasted for around 8 to 12 hours instead of 3 days like some people get. If I didn't throw up during the come-up, things could have been much worse. I have never tried Datura again after this experience, but I'm glad I tried it. And I was lucky that God decided to watch over me, because he could have just let me die because of my stupidity or taking such a high dose of seeds and mixing it with DXM. Me telling you not to do this drug is probably not going to stop you if you're as stubborn as me. So if you do want to try it, please try and be as safe as possible. God bless.